welcome to another edition of Fun with Spreadsheets. This is one of the two main spreadsheets that I have for money planning. The other one I will link in the description. I will not be building this from scratch, as you can see, but I will just walk through it a bit. So first we have the summary sheet. It has some fake holdings, cost and the gains, the unrealized gains. It has this in graph form where you can see what exactly, where the gains are, where you're heavily tilted. In this case, it is a somewhat healthy proportion of mostly index funds, but then a couple of stocks. We can see which platform is being used. We can see which sectors and the risk. The risk here is not sorted, which is not optimal, but oh well. Okay, first thing, make a copy. Okay, so the sheets with a padlock are locked, so if you try to make edits here, it's gonna go, nope, do you really want to do this? And in this case, we don't. They are mainly output sheets with data from formulas and scripts, so you should probably not edit those. Okay, so let's go to the first one. Here we have the portfolio with the tickers and the various data like the price in pounds per unit and the cost, which we will get back to, the cost basis of this, and the raw gain, which is not super interesting in terms of how well did this perform, because if you held something for 20 years, then it is expected to have doubled twice, whereas if you bought it yesterday, not so much. So internal rate of return, this is more interesting than the percentage gain, because this is the equivalent annual return. So as we all know, Nvidia has gone way up to the moon, and in this example data we have someone buying before it went to the moon, and the equivalent yearly return would be 85%, which is great. So internal rate of return, very interesting thing to have. Also pay attention to all the little black triangles here. They have notes that could help in various ways. Net present value is also interesting. Instead of having a percentage, it puts a number to this basically and says what it uses the NPV discount, which is what was the completely safe alternative to this investment. And 4% is about maybe what you would get from a gilt, which is tax-free. So if you had just put this in a gilt at basically zero risk, you would have gotten 4%. Okay, did we win according to this? And for most of these we did, some of these we did not. Like TN25, this is actually realistic data. So let's say it went up by 91% year over year. Well, it's somewhat realistic. That's not a very high percentage. But if you compare this to going up by 4%, it's not actually a good investment. It would have been better to have to just put it in a cash ISA or whatever. Fees. Stocks don't have fees, so 0 for those. And then we have two ETFs here. And we can see illustrated here that there is more red here, as in this is a more expensive by percent ETF than SPX5. But because this portfolio has so much more value, let's see here, 55,000 instead of 10,000. It is still in absolute numbers 16 pounds instead of 7 pounds. So this red bar means the actual money going out. But you know, if you have more money, more problems, right? More money, more fees. Okay. Next we have stock. This one lets you drill down more into one stock. Here, just choosing one of the ones you have, and you get some history of your when you bought and sold and so on. Some more data. Yeah, so that is another view, but only looking at one stock at a time. Transactions. This is the main input data. You put in all your trades, fill in all the formula, all the things here. You probably will calculate column G here. So if we look here, we have an example of a formula that just converts from whatever it is according to column F into pounds. It is advisable that you then do like you copy, Control C, and then paste values, that is Control Shift V, so that they are now solid as numbers. That is because Google Finance will throttle you if you do too many Google Finance calls in a sheet and you get a bunch of NA values, which breaks everything. So it is always nice to have these be specific numbers. Annotations. This sheet is the other input sheet. Here you will need at least one row per investment, per ticker. So that you can classify like, okay, so this SPX5 is US, Microsoft, Tech, and for things that are not in Google Finance, like TN25, you will need to put in the values. You could either put in a new instantaneous value, like I have here for a TN25 3 times, or you could just update the one that is in place. The portfolio will use the most recent one, so you don't actually need the historical data. Up to you if you want the one line or if you want multiple lines. The last one here, data is entirely calculated and contains a cache for the ticker values, and that is again because Google Finance will be overloaded if you use it too much. So it'll use the cached value if it's unable to use the real one, the most up-to-date one. Okay, so let's input some data. Start by deleting all the existing data. Well, I don't have to delete the existing data. It's not wrong, really. I mean, the TN25 values may not be up to date, but soon enough you'll add new values anyway. But let's start from scratch. Okay, transactions. So let's say you buy. I've actually looked these up so that they are somewhat realistic. So you bought 10 units. It is red right now because it has conditional formatting to make sure that if you buy, meaning a positive value in units, then you need to have a positive cost as well. So let's say you bought it for 75 each, and let's get that formula back so we get somewhat of a value there. And transaction ID, and we don't actually need this, we can skip that. Now we have some transactions. Great. So you would think, actually, let's do what I actually said. Copy, paste the values. Now they are fixed. So we go to portfolio and hope that everything looks great, and it does not, because we don't have all the data. Like industry, NA, it can't look up the data. Okay, so we think that then we can go, okay, as of, we can just go. We don't actually need a specific date here. Price, skip that, industry, tech, maybe we should fashion, because it's Apple. And we'll also put in a fee of 0 and a risk of 8. I usually use I think it's Morningstar that has a risk of 1 through 7. So an individual stock, I just say 8. And then we go to portfolio and we see, oh, look, it has most of the things put in here. It has the current price, which it gets from the data here, but it does not have that converted into pounds. And that is because we actually need annotations. We need another one here. USD GBP. And it has some basically bullshit values here. And then we can see, oh look, price GBP. 22,000 in total. Now, of course, this is not the real value. If we look here in data, we see that the cash has not been updated here. So we're just going with the preset value. So what we need is to run in the stonks menu, update ticker cash. And you need to approve that. Okay, so that is off screen. It is not, well, I guess maybe it'll be off screen. Yeah, you'll get a warning. You should look at the actual app script to make sure that I'm not doing any shenanigans. But since I know that I'm not doing any shenanigans to myself, I just blanket approve this. And you see that it has now updated, so we have updated values there, which is great. And we see that the current price is £203, which sounds believable if the USD price is 255. So, yay. Now we have that there. Okay, so the cost basis here though, like that doesn't look right. 6,000? No, we put in more like 1,600. Well, that is because cost is also calculated. Recalculate cost. And 1,600. Okay, that is more believable. So the script doesn't actually erase the old data, so let's just do that manually. And there. And we see Apple, we have it 100% of our investments are in Apple now. We have some gain. We have an internal rate of return that's pretty good. I mean, it's 2.5 times what the stock market has done in like last 15 years. So that's good. But then again, I mean, last couple of years, the stock market in general has done great. So we should be happy about that. There's no fees. Everything's awesome. Right. So the thing to keep in mind for updating the sheet then is anytime you make a transaction, buy or sell, you enter it into transactions. Anytime you buy a new financial instrument that you've never bought before, you need to add it to annotations. And if you buy something that is not visible in Google Finance, like TN25, the UK gilts, then you need to constantly update the price in annotations. And that, as we've seen, doesn't update everything. I have set it up so that every time you reload the spreadsheet, it updates the ticker cache. So 1148, I'll press reload. It should run. There, 1152. So that updates automatically. What does not update automatically is the cost. So anytime you've done a transaction here, you probably want to run recalculate costs. The reason it's an app script and not a formula is that the UK tax rules are super annoying in that there's same day rule, there's bed and breakfast rule, and then there's the S104 pool. the script may be wrong. Do not trust this to actually be correct. We can actually look at the script here. Apps script. Here's the bits that add some menu items. Here's the update ticker cache thing. And then this is mostly ChatGPT generated. I did modify it a bit, but like, is it doing the right thing? Who knows? It seems to be doing the right thing. This is not what I use to actually do my taxes, so it's not super important that it's correct. It does appear to be correct, but no guarantees. Yeah. So if you find bugs in it, please let me know. And I think that's it. I think that is my stonks sheet. Yeah, so the data thing here, like the cache doesn't actually clear the old cache data. This is from before we deleted everything. It doesn't matter because it's a lookup table and this is the empty string. It's not going to look up anything. What else? Oh, we can go back to the summary here. Now we have Apple. It's gone up a lot. We knew that. We just have the one platform, just the one fashion sector. I guess we don't need any of this. And you can make your own graphs. Yeah, that is the sheet. End the transmission.